Hello, I'm Alexander, and today we will look at Kiwi Ears Orchestra Lite in-ear monitors. I would like to thank Linsol for providing the sample for this review. As always, I'm not paid to make this review or offer any specific opinions about this product, and all thoughts expressed in today's episode are my own. Orchestra Lite features an 8 balanced armature driver configuration per side, three-way passive crossover, beautiful 3D printed resin shells, and detachable 4-core 7 and oxygen-free copper cable. Kiwi Ears decided to redesign the original orchestra to increase its performance and optimize the cost, and this was achieved by using customized balanced armature drivers that were developed for Kiwi Ears. As a result, we can now have an IEM with an 8 balanced armature configuration that doesn't break the bank. But as usual, let's start with the unboxing. Orchestra Lite arrived in a medium-sized beautiful carton box with a sleeve. On the front of the sleeve there is a branding and illustration of the IEMs, and on the back of the sleeve there is company information. Brief specifications including the driver types can be found on the side of the sleeve. Inside the sleeve there is a black box with a Kiwi Ears logo in silver. In the box we have Orchestra Lite IEMs, detachable 0.78mm 2-pin cable, 9 pairs of silicone ear tips, a carrying case and a manual. The impedance of IEM is 18 ohms, sensitivity is 112 dB. Orchestra Lite is available in 5 different color schemes: green, blue, purple, orange and clear, which stands for transparent. My sample is an orange one, but I'd call it amber. Besides excellent tuning, it's obvious that Kiwi Ears doesn't forget about visual aesthetics, and it's good to see that Orchestra Lite also follows this trend. The shells are made out of medical grade resin and the amber color pattern looks mesmerizing. The shells are glossy, but surprisingly they don't catch the fingerprints easily. Both faceplates carry the Kiwi Ears logo. The nozzles are on the longer side and quite thick and have 3 sound bores. The nozzle diameter is 6 mm and there is no mesh or filter at the end of the nozzle, so you need to be careful and make sure that you clear your ear tips regularly. There is also no usual lip that helps with ear tips retainment, but the nozzles are wider at the end, so this helps to secure the ear tip. Inside the shell we have an 8 driver configuration with a passive crossover. 2 nose balanced armatures for bass, 4 customized Kiwi Ears balanced armatures for mid-range, and 2 customized Kiwi Ear balanced armatures for the treble. Due to the transparent shell design, you can clearly see the driver configuration. The 2-pin connector is conveniently placed on top of the IEM, and surprisingly there are no vent holes at all. Taking into consideration 8 drivers per side, the IEMs are hefty and I liked it a lot. Visually they're also beautiful and I really enjoyed this particular orange color scheme. Talking about fit and comfort, the IEM shells are well polished and there are no sharp edges here. The shells are large and hefty, but have a very natural and ergonomic shape. In my case, the fit was very good, but if you have small ears, you may struggle with the fit. I also had no issues with the stock ear tips and I was able to reach a good fit and seal instantly, which is a huge plus for me. But I need to point out that the quality of the stock ear tips is lacking. And as someone already mentioned, I'd rather have 1 set of quality silicone ear tips than 3 included sets of mediocre tips. Still, I've been using Orchestra Lite for extended periods of time and the fit was fantastic in my case, and I never experienced any discomfort. In terms of passive noise isolation, the Orchestra Lite also performs well. It effectively blocks out most of the outside noise, allowing you to fully immerse yourself in your music without the need to turn the volume too high. But as it has no vents, some people may experience fatigue. The cable that comes with this IEM is very good. It's 1.2 meters long and has a straight 3.5mm connector on one end and 2 0.78mm 2-pin connectors on the other end. The cable connectors have no usual letter channel indication, however, the base on the right connector is red, so this helps with the channel navigation a bit. The cable has a metal splitter, pre-molded ear guides and a plastic chin slider. Overall, I think this cable is pretty good. It's soft and is low in microphonics. The pre-molded ear guides are soft too, and it helps to achieve a relaxed fit with this IEM. Now let's talk about the sound. Please know that all sound impressions that I'm sharing on this channel are completely subjective, so please take them with a grain of salt. At 18 ohms of impedance and 112 dB of sensitivity, Orchestra Lite is easy to drive, and I had no issues driving it from my Samsung Galaxy S10. It also won't benefit much from a more powerful source, but using it with a more quality source can have a positive impact on the sound too. The Orchestra Lite offers a very interesting listening experience, especially if you're into classical, jazz and vocal music. The tuning is quite mid-centric, with a lightly pronounced bass and rounded treble, which sometimes reminded me of my Sennheiser HD 6XX. But unlike the 6XX, the overall presentation is a bit dry. This is a full balanced armature set, and when we talk about low frequencies, I wasn't expecting sub-bass rumble and a very punchy mid-bass. So in this regard, the IEM fully met my expectations. Two balanced armature drivers responsible for low frequencies are from Knowles and are tuned well. And while the bass is not near any dynamic driver bass levels, it still has some punch. The bass notes are defined well with distinct hits, but the bass presentation is a bit soft and it lacks weight and body. This type of bass will be appealing to those familiar with analytical sound signatures with gentle bass. The bass here also won't please bass heads and those who prefer some additional punch in the low end. But I still think Kiwi Ears did a good job with the choice of balanced armatures and their tuning. The mid-range of Orchestra Lite is probably the best part of its tuning. It's coherent, linear, moved forward and detailed. There is some bass bleed into the mid-range, which contributes to some additional warmth of the lower mids, which in the end results in a full-bodied mid-range presentation that sounds engaging. Vocals and instruments are quite upfront, with a good note weight, definition and character. Neither lower nor upper mid sound thin, the timbre is great, and there are a lot of details in this part of this frequency range. Orchestra Lite truly shines in its reproduction of instruments and vocals, as the mids are clean and detailed. This is especially appreciated when listening to acoustic tracks or vocal-centric genres. The mid-range perfectly sits in the mix, and on many vocal tracks I had the feeling the artist was right in front of me. The treble extension of Orchestra Lite is good and coherent, though it's a bit rounded. While it's not the most detailed and airy treble I came across in IEMs, it still brings a good amount of energy to the table, and it was never harsh, intrusive or grainy, no matter what music I was throwing at this IEM. The details and micro details, while not class-leading, still provide a lot of information. However, if you seek a very open, airy and analytical treble, you may be a bit disappointed. The treble on Orchestra Lite was particularly enjoyable when listening to well-mastered recordings with a good dynamic range, and with such music, the percussion, cymbals and synth shine with life. The soundstage here is wide, but it's not too deep. The height of the soundstage is average as well, and Orchestra Lite's sonic landscape still feels a bit congested and compressed. I enjoyed Orchestra Lite while listening to my music, and I also tried playing games with it, but the gaming performance was not very good, especially in the multiplayer games. I think this is due to the dry and mid-centric presentation, and the gaming landscape sometimes felt a bit unrealistic, lacking a sense of distance and accuracy. So unfortunately I can't recommend this one for gaming. At the same time, the separation of instruments is one of the best in this price bracket, and while the overall presentation is still a bit congested, the IEM never failed to bring all the necessary details in my music to light. Let's summarize. The Orchestra Lite was released at a very difficult price bracket. On one side, there are a lot of very good sounding IEMs under $200 US. On the other side, the over $300 US range is dominated by well-known models for years. Orchestra Lite sits somewhere in between and is in a league of its own. From the moment I unboxed it and did my initial tests, I already knew it was a very special IEM. At the time of making this review, I already put more than 100 hours into them, and my initial feelings about it didn't change at all, though it still took me some time to finalize my impressions on this one. What I liked about this IEM was beautiful design and solid build, mid-centric tuning with a good details and energy, rounded treble extension, excellent instrument separation, great technical abilities for the price, excellent stock cable, studio-grade dry character, and great price-to-performance ratio. What I didn't like about this IEM was the bass that lacks authority, rumble, and weight. The stock ear tips are mediocre, and I was expecting to see a better IEM case, especially at this price point. Still, there are several reasons that easily justify the purchase of Orchestra Lite. First, if you want a full balanced armature set. That said, Orchestra Lite is very competitive with its 8 drivers per side. Second, you want a mid-centric tuning and you don't care too much about sub-bass rumble and crystal clear treble. The third aspect is that you are looking for an IEM with a dry studio character and excellent instrument separation. In this regard, Orchestra Lite checks all the boxes, and I cannot think of a better IEM for the above mentioned reasons, especially at the current price. And that concludes my review for today. If you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to my channel and click the bell icon to receive new video updates. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.